Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Catherine Saras. I'm a global real estate advisor with Premier Sotheby's here in the greater Sarasota area. Today, I'm actually in our Longboat Key office and thought I would take a minute because I'm reading a lot of information accenting the short-term rental rules around here. So I thought I would go over them with you because I'm sorry to say that I feel like most agents don't know the rules and they help people to acquire properties to be used as short-term rentals that don't actually qualify as a short-term rental. So I'm going to focus everything I'm saying to Sarasota County and the city of Sarasota. When you get into Manatee County or Charlotte County south of us, they have different sets of rules. If there is a homeowners association or a condominium, a condo association, their rules will take precedence over what I'm about to tell you. So it's very important that you know what the rules are and don't just rely carte blanche on either a listing agent, a home seller, half the time they don't know either, or your agent as a buyer, because the last thing you want to do is drop 3, 4, 500,000 or more on a property only to find out it is actually legally not going to meet your needs. So, first thing to know in Sarasota, if you are going to purchase a property for short-term rentals, you must get licensed through the Department of Business and Professional Development. That's called, or regulation, called DBPR for short. And you have to register with the Department of Revenue because guess what? There are taxes attached to short-term rentals, okay? Now, those taxes are a 7% sales tax here in the state of Florida and a 6% tourist development tax. Okay. So these are legal requirements as regards your revenue. Now, as far as the rules go, and I'm going to focus on single family homes because condominiums will all have a condominium association, and you need to read and know their rules for short-term rentals if they're even allowed. Okay. So we're talking residential, single family. If it is in a neighborhood that has a homeowners association, then you need to know what their rules are. Okay. Some are pretty lenient. You can do 3 months minimum or 6 months minimum. You might be able to do it once or twice a year. But these are not going to be ideal if your plan is like from January to May to turn them over by the week. It's not going to happen. Um, in the city of Sarasota, and if you have a physical map, most of them outline the city boundaries in a different color to the rest. So that'll tell you very simply and easily, is it actually in the city of Sarasota, or does it have a Sarasota mailing address, but is actually situated in the county? So in the city, for a single family home, it is a minimum 7 full days and 7 full nights, 1 week minimum lease period. Okay. Now, do we see on the street things happening doing less than that? Yeah. And do people turn you in? Not necessarily. But all it takes is one bad tenant who has a party till 1 o'clock in the morning. And yes, you will be turned in without a doubt because the neighbors, like the neighborhood I live in, is very popular with people who want to do short-term rentals because it has one of those generous 1 week minimum lease period opportunities. And a few years ago, there was a party at one of the Airbnbs in our neighborhood, and I don't know, an argument ensued, and a young woman, very intoxicated, went to leave in a huff. didn't pull all the way back out the driveway and then gunned it going forward, hit the neighbor's car in his driveway. So things can happen. You need to know our local noise ordinances. And certainly, if you have a short-term rental on one of the barrier islands, you are now required to register those with the city of Sarasota in the event of, for example, a storm, to make sure that they know who the owner is and can get hold of you to make sure that the property is secured, or to let you know that they're going to be cutting off the power and water before the storm arrives. So I hope that was helpful. It may have seemed a bit rambling, but it's not as liberal as you might imagine to do an Airbnb down here. If you do your best to play by the rules, really, there shouldn't be any issues. You want to try and, pocket money without letting anyone know. Well, you might get away with it for a while, but certainly it's not guaranteed you're going to get away with it forever. And there's always penalties. So I cannot be your conscience. If you have any other questions regarding real estate or other real estate needs in the greater Sarasota area, and that includes the islands, for example, like today on Longboat Key, Lido, St. Armands, Siesta Key, Casey Key, the island of Venice, Minnesota Key, from Palmetto all the way down to Punta Gorda, I am the person you need to call. 941-928-1187. And do have a glorious day.